My mother laughed, actually laughed. "Your brother earned everything himself, unlike you," she said, wine glass in hand, while I stood there holding the award I'd just brought to show them. The guests shifted in their seats. My hand trembled. But the worst part? I already knew they'd say no when I found out what they'd really done. "My name is Maya. I'm 29 years old and I'm a senior software engineer at a tech firm in Seattle. I make 6 figures. I live alone in a downtown apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. On paper, I've done everything right. Graduated top of my class, landed competitive internships, climbed the ladder faster than most people in my field. But to my parents, I've always been background noise, the responsible one, the one who didn't need celebrating because I'd figure it out on my own. My brother is 2 years younger. He's charming, outgoing, the kind of person who walks into a room and everyone notices. Growing up, he was the star, not because he tried harder or achieved more, just because he existed louder than I did. And my parents loved that about him. They still do. I spent my entire childhood being the one who kept things running. I made honor roll while he barely passed. I helped with dinner while he played video games. I saved my birthday money while he spent his the same day he got it. And every single time, my parents smiled at him like he hung the moon while I got a distracted, "That's nice, honey," if I was lucky. If you've ever been pushed aside by family when it mattered most, subscribe and tell me where you're watching from. I want to hear your story because for years I thought I was the only one who felt invisible in my own home. I remember being 12 years old. I just won first place at the regional science fair. Months of research, late nights, a project on renewable energy that the judges said was college-level work. I came home with the trophy, this huge golden thing with my name engraved on a plaque. My mom glanced at it, said, "Congratulations," then turned to my brother, who just failed his math test for the 3rd time in a row, and suggested we go out to dinner to celebrate his effort. They threw him a party, invited family over, made his favorite meal, bought him a new gaming console to encourage him to keep trying. My trophy sat in the back seat of my mom's car for 3 weeks until I finally brought it inside myself and put it on my bookshelf. Nobody ever asked where it went. That's when I learned. If I wanted to be noticed, I needed to be smaller, less threatening. I started downplaying my achievements. When I got into the advanced math program, I mentioned it once and never brought it up again. When I won the essay contest, I didn't tell them until they found the certificate in my backpack 2 months later. I convinced myself it was easier this way, that I was being considerate, that making my brother feel bad wasn't worth the recognition. My grandmother was different. She saw me, really saw me. She'd sit with me at family dinners and ask about my projects, my goals, my dreams. She'd slip me $20 and whisper, "For your future." She told me once when I was 15 that I reminded her of herself, smart, driven, underestimated. She said, "Don't let them dim your light, Maya. You're going to do incredible things." She passed away when I was 17. At the funeral, she left me something. I didn't know what it was at the time. The lawyer mentioned a college fund. My parents nodded and said they'd handle it. I trusted them. I was grieving. I didn't ask questions. I should have asked questions. I thought things would change when I grew up, when I moved out, when I started proving I could make it on my own. After college, I landed a job at a mid-sized tech company. Nothing glamorous, but stable. Good benefits, room to grow. I worked late, took on extra projects, learned new programming languages on weekends. Within 2 years, I was promoted to senior developer, then team lead. Then, 6 months ago, they made me senior software engineer with a team of 12 people under me. I was proud, really proud. It felt like validation, like proof that all those years of working quietly, steadily had paid off. I wanted to share that with my family. I wanted them to see that I'd made something of myself. Not for their approval exactly, but because I still believed, somewhere deep down, that they'd care. So I invited them to my company's recognition dinner. It was formal, black tie. They were giving me an award for leading a project that saved the company $500,000. I sent my parents the invitation 2 months in advance, called them, texted them. They said they'd be there. My mom even asked what she should wear. The day of the dinner, I got a text. Can't make it. Your brother needs help moving furniture to his new place. Maybe next time. I stood in my apartment, dressed in the gown I'd bought specifically for that night, staring at my phone. I told myself it was fine. They were just busy. My brother needed help. That's what family does. I went to the dinner alone, accepted the award alone, smiled for photos alone, drove home alone. I told myself they'd make it up to me. 3 weeks later, my brother called. He wanted to throw a party, a big one. He was launching his startup, some tech thing he'd been working on for a year. He wanted the whole family there, parents, cousins, aunts, uncles. I said I'd come. Of course I'd come. He's my brother. The party was at my parents' house. Catered food, decorations, a banner that said, "Congratulations, Jason," in huge letters across the living room. Everyone was there. My mom wore the dress she'd bought for my dinner. My dad was beaming. Aunts and uncles kept congratulating my brother, asking about his business, telling him how proud they must be. I stood near the kitchen, holding a glass of wine, trying to feel happy for him. I was happy for him. I just felt hollow, like I was watching my family celebrate someone else's life while mine didn't count. Then my mom started talking, loud enough for everyone to hear. She was telling some family friends about Jason's success, how he'd built this company from nothing, how he'd worked so hard, how he'd sacrificed and saved and done it all himself. She said he earned everything himself, unlike Maya, who just got lucky with her job. The room got quiet, not completely, but quiet enough that I knew people heard, quiet enough that I felt my face get hot. I looked at her. She was laughing, not meanly, just casually, like she'd said something funny, like it was obvious. I walked over. My hands were shaking. "What do you mean by that?" She blinked. "What? Unlike me. What does that mean?" She waved her hand. "Oh, honey, don't be sensitive. I just meant Jason built his business himself. We gave him some help, sure, but he did all the hard work. You've had a steady paycheck. It's different." "Help?" I said. "What kind of help?" My dad stepped in. He looked uncomfortable. "We gave him some money to get started. It's not a big deal." "How much money?" My mom sighed. $80,000 from the family savings. "But it's an investment, Maya. He's going to pay us back." I felt like the floor disappeared. 80,000. "It's not just your money," my mom said. "It's family money." "That was Grandma's money," I said. My voice sounded far away. "She left that for my college fund. For me." My dad frowned. "It was family money. We decided it would be better used helping Jason start his business. You already graduated. You didn't need it." I took out student loans, $50,000 worth. I'd been paying them off for 7 years. I'd asked my parents once if there was anything left from Grandma's fund. They said it had been used for family expenses. I didn't push. I believed them. Jason was standing across the room. He wouldn't look at me. "You knew," I said. He didn't answer. "Jason, you knew that money was supposed to be mine." He looked up. "Mom and Dad said it was family money. I didn't—" "You knew." The room was silent now, everyone watching. My aunt, my dad's sister, looked horrified. My mom's face was tight, annoyed, like I was causing a scene. I left. I got in my car and drove home and sat in my apartment and cried for 2 hours. Not because of the money, because they'd lied. Because they'd taken something my grandmother left specifically for me and given it to my brother without asking, without telling me, and then acted like I was selfish for being upset. I called the next day, tried to talk calmly. My mom answered, "Maya, I don't know why you're so worked up about this. It's done. Jason needed the money more than you did. You're fine. You have a job. Let it go." "It wasn't yours to give," I said. "We're your parents. We made the decision we thought was best for the family." "I'm part of this family." "Then act like it. Support your brother instead of making this about you." She hung up. My dad called an hour later. Your mother's upset. You embarrassed her in front of everyone. I think you owe her an apology. I didn't apologize. For the next week, I went through the motions: work, meetings, coffee with coworkers who asked if I was okay. I said I was fine. I wasn't fine. I felt like I was underwater, like I'd spent my entire life trying to earn a place in my family, and it didn't matter. Nothing I did mattered. Then I got a notification. I'd been pre-approved for a mortgage. I was thinking about buying a place, something permanent. I pulled my credit report to check my score, and that's when I saw it. A $15,000 loan, opened 2 years ago, in my name, for a business LLC I'd never heard of, my brother's LLC. I called the bank. They confirmed it. The loan had been opened with my social security number, my information, my credit. Payments had been made sporadically. It was currently 60 days past due. I sat there staring at my laptop screen. My hands were numb. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was fraud. I called my parents. My dad answered. I kept my voice steady. Did you know Jason took out a loan in my name? Silence. Dad, did you know? He needed the money, my dad said. Your credit was better. We thought you wouldn't mind. You thought I wouldn't mind someone stealing my identity? It's not stealing. He's your brother. He's going to pay it back. Did you give him permission to use my information? Another pause. We co-signed. You co-signed a loan in my name without telling me? Maya, you're being dramatic. It's just a loan. Jason's business is going to take off. This is temporary. I hung up. I couldn't breathe. I sat on my couch and stared at the wall and realized this wasn't an accident. This wasn't neglect. This was intentional. They'd chosen to do this. They'd chosen him over me. Again, and again, and again. I called my best friend, Sarah. She came over with takeout and sat with me while I pulled up every financial document I had. We went through everything: bank statements, credit reports, old emails. I found the lawyer's letter from when my grandmother passed. It specifically said the college fund was for me, by name, to be used solely for Maya's education. My parents had lied. They'd taken that money and given it to Jason, and then they'd helped him commit identity theft. Sarah looked at me. You know you have to report this, right? I nodded. I knew. But saying it out loud felt impossible. Reporting your own family, calling the police on your brother. It felt like crossing a line I couldn't uncross. They're counting on you not doing anything, Sarah said. That's how this works. They know you'll protect them, even when they hurt you. She was right. The next day, I called a lawyer. A real one, not just a consultation. I walked into her office with my folder of documents and laid it all out. The college fund, the loan, the credit damage. She listened, took notes, then looked at me and said, "This is identity theft. It's also a clear violation of your grandmother's will. You have a case, a strong one." What do I do? You file a police report. You dispute the loan with the credit bureaus. You decide how far you want to take this legally. But Maya, you need to protect yourself because they're not going to stop unless you make them. I filed the report that week. It felt surreal, sitting in a police station, giving a statement about my own brother, but I did it, and I opened a new bank account, one my parents didn't know about. I transferred my savings, changed my passwords, started keeping every text, every email, every voicemail. I wasn't just hurt anymore. I was preparing. A few days later, my cousin called. We'd always been close. She wanted to get coffee. I said yes. We met at a cafe near my apartment. She looked uncomfortable. "So," she said, "I heard you're demanding your parents pay you back for Jason's business?" I blinked. "What?" My mom told me. She said your mom's really upset, that you're being unreasonable, that you're jealous of Jason's success. That's not what happened. That's what they're saying. I felt something crack open inside me. They stole from me. They gave away money my grandmother left specifically for me. Then they helped Jason take out a loan in my name without my permission. That's fraud. That's not jealousy. My cousin stared at me. I didn't know. They didn't tell you. They're telling everyone I'm the problem, that I'm selfish, that I can't be happy for my brother, but that's not the truth. She reached across the table and squeezed my hand. I believe you. It was the first time someone in my family had said that. I almost cried right there in the coffee shop. Over the next 2 weeks, I started hearing from other family members. Some believed my parents, some didn't. My uncle stopped responding to my texts. My aunt on my mom's side sent me a long message about family loyalty. But my dad's sister, Aunt Linda, called me. She said, "I was there when your grandmother made that will. I heard her say that money was for your education. What your parents did was wrong." That conversation changed everything. I wasn't imagining this. I wasn't being dramatic. Someone else had witnessed it. Someone else knew the truth. Then my brother called. "Maya, can we talk?" I didn't want to, but I said yes. We met at a park near his apartment. He looked tired, stressed. He sat down on the bench next to me and said, "I need you to drop the police report." No. "Maya, please, this is going to ruin me. Mom and Dad are freaking out. The wedding's in 2 months. Claire's family is asking questions. I can't have this hanging over me." "You should have thought about that before you stole my identity." "I didn't steal anything. Mom and Dad said it was okay." It wasn't theirs to say okay to. It was my information. My credit. My life. He ran his hands through his hair. "I'll pay you back. I swear. Just drop the report. Please, you're tearing this family apart." "I'm not the one who tore it apart." He stood up. "You've always been like this. Cold, unforgiving. You can't just let things go." "I let things go for 29 years, I said. "I'm done." He left. I sat there alone and felt the weight of it, the loneliness, the anger, the grief, but also something else, relief, because I'd finally said it. I was done. The family group chat kept going without me. I saw screenshots from my cousin. They were planning Jason's engagement party. Nobody mentioned me, not once. It was like I'd been erased. My mom sent me one text. "If you don't drop this, you're not welcome at the wedding." I didn't respond. What they didn't know was I'd spent the last month building something they couldn't touch. I had documentation. I had Grandma's will. I had the police report. I had recordings of phone calls where my dad admitted what they'd done. I had a lawyer who knew exactly what steps to take next. I had a plan. And I had people who actually cared about me. Sarah had been texting me every day, checking in, sending memes, reminding me I wasn't alone. Aunt Linda had called twice to see how I was doing. My therapist, who I'd started seeing a month ago, helped me process the grief of losing a family I'd never really had. I wasn't a victim anymore. I was someone taking my life back. 2 weeks before Jason's engagement party, I got a text from my mom. "We're having a family gathering. You should come. We need to move past this." I knew what that meant. They wanted me to show up, apologize, pretend nothing happened, play my role. I texted back, "I'll be there." Sarah asked if I was sure. I said yes. I was ready. The day of the party, I drove to my parents' house. My stomach was in knots. I'd barely slept, but I felt calm, focused. I had a folder in my bag, printed documents, timeline, evidence. I wasn't going there to yell. I wasn't going there to beg. I was going there to tell the truth. I walked in. The house was full. My parents, Jason and his fiancée, aunts, uncles, cousins. Everyone turned to look at me. My mom smiled, tight, forced. "Maya, I'm glad you came." I nodded, set my bag down, took a breath. "I need to talk to everyone," I said. My dad frowned. "Maya, this isn't the time." "It's exactly the time." I pulled out the folder. My hands were steady. When I was 17, my grandmother passed away. She left me a college fund, $80,000, specifically for my education. It's in her will. I have a copy right here. I held it up. People leaned forward. My mom's face went pale. My parents took that money without telling me. They gave it to Jason to start his business. I found out 3 weeks ago at this exact party when my mom told a room full of people that Jason earned everything himself, unlike me. My mom opened her mouth. I kept going. I took out $50,000 in student loans. I've been paying them off for 7 years. I could have graduated debt-free, but my parents decided Jason needed the money more. Jason was staring at the floor. His fiancée looked confused. Then, 2 years ago, someone opened a loan in my name. $15,000. I didn't open it. I didn't co-sign it. Jason opened it, with my parents' permission, using my social security number, my credit, without asking me. Aunt Linda stood up. Is this true? My dad's face was red. This is a private family matter. It's fraud, I said. It's identity theft. I filed a police report. I have documentation. I have recordings of phone calls where Dad admitted it. I'm not here to ask for an apology. I'm here to tell you what happened, because they've been telling all of you that I'm jealous, that I'm selfish, that I can't be happy for Jason. But that's not true. My mom's voice shook. You're ruining your brother's life. No, I said. I'm protecting mine. Jason finally looked up. His eyes were wet. I knew the money was supposed to be yours. I'm sorry. I should have said something. The room was silent. People were staring. At me. At my parents. At Jason. Nobody knew what to say. I picked up my bag. I came here because you asked me to. I came here to be honest. What you do with that is up to you. I walked out. My mom called after me. I didn't stop. I got in my car. My hands were shaking now. My chest was tight. I drove 3 blocks and pulled over and cried. Not because I regretted it, because it was over. Because I'd finally said everything I needed to say. Sarah called 10 minutes later. How did it go? I did it. I'm proud of you. I believed her. The next few days were chaos. My phone blew up, texts from family members, some angry, some confused, some supportive. My uncle sent a long message defending my parents. My cousin sent a short one saying, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Aunt Linda called and said, you did the right thing. My mom sent one text, you've broken this family? I blocked her number, then my dad's, then Jason's. I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. The loan was removed from my credit report a month later. The credit bureau ruled it as fraudulent. My score jumped 60 points. I got my mortgage approved. I started looking at condos. Jason's wedding happened without me. I didn't go. I didn't send a gift. My parents sent a Christmas card that year like nothing had happened. I threw it away without opening it. A year later, my life looked completely different. I bought a condo. 2 bedrooms, hardwood floors, a view of the city. I got promoted again, senior engineering manager. I started a blog, writing about family financial abuse, helping other people recognize the signs, offering resources, building a community. Sarah and I started hosting monthly dinners, chosen family, friends who showed up, who listened, who cared. Aunt Linda came to a few. She told me stories about my grandmother, how fierce she was, how proud she'd be of me. Jason reached out once. 6 months after his wedding, he said Claire had left him, that the business was failing, that he missed me. I didn't respond, not because I hated him, because I didn't owe him my pain anymore. My parents sent another Christmas card this year. I looked at it, felt nothing, threw it away. That moment taught me something. Indifference is more powerful than anger. I spent years seeking their approval, their validation, their love. I thought if I worked hard enough, achieved enough, stayed quiet enough, they'd finally see me. But I was never invisible, because I wasn't enough. I was invisible because they chose not to look. Family isn't defined by blood. It's defined by who shows up, who listens, who stays. My parents didn't do that, but Sarah did. Aunt Linda did. My therapist did. My coworkers did. My chosen family did. I'm not hangry anymore. I'm free. And that's worth more than their approval ever was. If you've ever had to stand up to family betrayal, hit that subscribe button and tell me your story in the comments. I read every single one, and I want to hear from you. Your healing matters. Your story matters. Thank you for letting me share this with you. I'll see you in the next one.